Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the famed Talladega Superspeedway for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Round 10 of the season. NASCAR Fan 88 in a special paint scheme to pay tribute to the movie Talladega Nights, and he will drive the Ricky Bobby paint scheme in the 62 Me car with a Cougar on the hood, and there was also a Cougar in the car because he wants to go fast. And he went fast at Richmond and won that race. And he will pilot the 62 to pay tribute to the Talladega Nights movie, celebrating 10 years of that awesome movie. Jeff Gordon starts second. Dale Jr. in the Valvoline car instead of the Nationwide car. Brad Keselowski in the Miller Genuine Draft car, just like what Sarah Cornett Shane drove in the ARCA series here and won that race. Can Brad Keselowski do the same thing? Chase Elliott in the 25 Napa paint scheme, but it is also a paint scheme that looks familiar to Bill Elliott's paint scheme to pay tribute to his father Bill when Bill Elliott reached a speed of 212 miles per hour in 1985. Kyle Larson is finally in the 42 car. Jamie McMurray in a new look. And since NASCAR Fan 88 is over to the 62, Jimmy Fan 48 is back in the driver's seat after his first at Martinsville. That's pretty much all your previous news. Let's get you off with the most famous words in motorsports. Engines are fired. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. One hot day here at Talladega. Here is the starting lineup, folks. Row 1, Jeff Gordon and NASCAR Fan 88. NASCAR Fan 88 is the pole sitter. I want to go fast. Carl Edwards and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson's back in the white 48. Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth. Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott. Casey Kane and Danica Patrick. Jamie McMurray and Kevin Harvick. Kyle Larson and Kurt Busch. Kyle Hamilton Jr. and Austin Dillon. This is Kyle Hamilton Jr.'s second start in the Cup Series. Greg Biffle and Denny Hamlin. Jimmy Fan 48 and Ryan Newman. Martin Truex Jr. and Joey Logano. Martin Truex Jr. will be switching over to Martin Truex Jr. will make his first debut with the 78 with Furniture Row Racing at Pocono. So he'll be saying goodbye to the 56. And Trevor Bayne will round out the field. We're underway here at Talladega. Jeff Gordon pulls away and he will lead lap 1. Here comes Carl Edwards gaining on him from push from Harvick. He'll lead this lap. Austin Dillon is out around Harvick. Harvick will get the lead this time as Austin Dillon makes contact. Carlos to get an advantage. Left line is out. Harvick and Jimmy Fan 48 make contact and they are out of contention. Carl Edwards hangs on and wins at Talladega and will pick up his second win of the season. Here is the contact with Austin Dillon and Kevin Harvick. They make contact coming off of turn 2. and they're out of contention. This gives Montreux Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Carl Edwards an advantage. And here was happening on the last lap. Harvick gets into Carl Edwards' left rear, which sends Harvick loose into Jimmy Fan 48, who was going on the low side, and they both are out of it. They're both out of it. Jimmy Fan 48's first DNF of his career, and Harvick's, and this would be Harvick's second season in a row being out of this race. He was out of this race in season 3, and this gives Carl Edwards an advantage to take the checker flag. Let's recap on Kevin Harvick's DNFs at Talladega. Season 1, he was involved in a big crash in the Tri-Oval. That's him right there, upside down in the 29 black car. Season 2, Kevin Harvick was involved in another crash in Turn 3 with Jeff Burton, Greg Biffle, Montreux Jr. Montreux Jr. was upside down, and Regan Smith. That's Harvick right there in the 29 black car. Season 3, last season, Kevin Harvick was involved in a crash in Turn 3, and he crashed out by Dale Earnhardt Jr. and that was their born of their rivalry. And they collected Brad Keselowski in the process. Now, Season 4 this season, he gets involved in a crash with Jimmy Fan 48. Oh man, I bet you he's going to wreck out when we next come here at Talladega for the second Talladega race this season. Just watch. He's going to wreck out in the second Talladega race this season when we come back here. He will. Just watch. Here is the top 10 race results. Carl Edwards is first. Jeff Gordon is second. Trevor Bayne is third. Austin Dillon is fourth. Kyle Larson rounds up the top 5. Tony Stewart in 6th. Martin Truex Jr. is 7th. Jimmy Johnson is 8th. Chase Elliott is 9th. And Ryan Newman rounds up the top 10. This is your top 10 race results. Here was the top 10 point standings. Tony Stewart is first. Chase Elliott is second. Jeff Gordon moves up to third. NASCAR Fan 88 moves up to fourth. Kyle Busch is fifth, rounds up the top 5. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is sixth. Kevin Harvick is seventh. Denny Kirkpatrick is eighth. Denny Hamlin is ninth. And Ryan Reed rounds up the top 10. This is your top 10 point standings. Here comes Kyle with celebrating a moment that's so long in coming, burning it down ever since he went to Victory Lane at Phoenix this season in the Cheez-Its car. Now, Talladega in the Fastenal car. Luck is just getting good for Carl Edwards now since it's his final season with Roush Fenway. He might get his win with his final race with Roush at Sonoma Raceway before he moves over to Joe Gibbs at Kentucky this season. He was when Carl Edwards last tasted Victory Lane. It was at Phoenix this season. Lots of lead changes. Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards take over right up until this point, and Edwards takes a checker flag. This win was Cheez-Its' first win in NASCAR. This win at Phoenix will be Carl Edwards' second Phoenix win and his third career win. Now, Edwards picks up career win number 4 at Talladega. Round 11 for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series this season will be at Kansas Speedway under the lights. Next up will be NASCAR Camping World Truck Series racing as Your Average Trucker will return at Kansas Speedway under the lights as well. This is Dale Earnhardt. This is Dale Jr. fan signing off from the broadcast booth after a lovely Talladega Speed Weeks for the ARCA Series, Xfinity Series, and Sprint Cup Series. Sarah Cornett Chang takes the victory in the ARCA Series. Chase Elliott takes a victory in the Xfinity Series, and Carl Edwards picks up his fourth career win in the Sprint Cup Series. But who will win at Kansas for the Truck and Sprint Cup Series? We're about to find out. But that'll have to wait at a later day. See you next time.